People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe on this Monday morning. It's around 8 a.m. or so. So yeah, man, we're all getting busy to work from home, or if you have to go to work, or whatever you have to do, I hope you're all well and safe. Now, on an Arsenal front, there isn't much that's changed over, the last 24 hours. I'd say it's become a bit more clearer, or 48 hours better yet, that Gabriel will be an Arsenal player. I say that until he's holding the shirt, until he's holding the shirt and official confirmation on the website. For me, I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt. We know Sky Sports and these things in today's day and age almost the last to pick up on a transfer, but for me, everything's in the balance until he obviously is on the Arsenal official website, and obviously he's been linked with a lot of clubs, and he owes it to himself to consider every project, which him and his advisors apparently have done. You're hearing United, obviously bearing in mind United have Champions League football and can probably offer better terms to him. He's turned that down to come to Arsenal, and it's a bit of a mixture between being convinced by Arteta and Edu. Now, I'm happy with that for two reasons. We know we're making changes, and by the time this video is finished, there probably will be some more structural changes, and we know a part of that meant specifically Edu and Arteta are getting more authority or more control over transfers. For Arteta, that's good because he's moving slightly from a head coach to a manager and having more control, more scrutiny, but there's that. And obviously for Edu, it shows me that Arteta, despite having lack of experience in things, in the same way he's been able to convince the fans and existing Arsenal players, potentially can convince people to come aboard to his project and help us with the rebuild. And for Edu, obviously, his role is almost more important than Arteta, because Arteta should be focusing on training and stuff. So it's nice to see Edu could convince him for whatever reason. Maybe it was the prospect of working under Arteta, and he maybe sold the case of, you're 22, you'll probably be here for 4 years. Do you want to, you can develop significantly here. Probably, the prospect of a rebuild, and the fact that him, together with Saliba, Tierney, the defence, excluding the keepers, are all, early 20s, so there's the rebuild and things like that. And obviously probably said, I can help you develop to get, Brazilian caps and stuff. Obviously, Edu's already worked with Brazil, so there might have been some sweeteners there. I'm happy with the signing, people. Allegedly, the two clubs are in agreement. Medical's been done. Allegedly, you see some people say medical's been done and it's yet to come, but apparently medical's been done. Personal terms have been agreed, and it's just a case of dotting I's and crossing T's. But again, until it's announced, I don't know. I'm happy with this signing, man, because God knows how much we've spent on defenders, in the last couple of years. And when you buy cheap, you get what you pay for more 9 times out of 10. And obviously in today's day and age, 30 million isn't the biggest of fees. Like I know with Gabriel, like Saliba, I've got more time for them than a lot of these centre halves. But I know with Gabriel, he's not the most experienced. Forgive me if I'm wrong, he's only got 40 Liga appearances. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's only come into the position of his own at Lille in the last 18 months or so, people. And he's done very well. But that, just with that in mind, obviously I'm just painting a picture for what I believe we're getting with the player. It's the same with Saliba, is that people are so caught up on the players of tomorrow, they're forgetting what he is now. Like I said, he's really been in, for me anyway, seeing him take up his game in the last 18 months. There's a lot to like about him. He drifts to the left-hand side a lot. What I mean by that is, as we get high as centre-halves and we play a high line, he likes to pull as wide as possible. So that could obviously mean Tierney has more of a licence to go forward. He's a very good passer. Statistically, he's a very good passer as well in the opposition's half as well. And we know playing out from the back, that's a modern requirement. I think he's someone that I'd put down as he likes to defend. He likes to nick the ball and get interceptions and be aggressive. Obviously with that, you're going to have to learn to time it better and things like that. But I really like him a lot, man. But if you just look at it, he's made 26 appearances for other clubs between a loan spell with Troyes, I can't say their name, and Dynamo. He's made 52 appearances for Lille, 40 times in the league. So that's not the most of experienced individuals. So with that being said, there are going to be some naiveties and some rough edges that to be polished out. But I mean, many people, myself included, you wouldn't expect someone to be the finished article at 22 years of age for 30 million euros. Sometimes these men do come about, but there's not that. For me, with Gabriel, I just want him to come. I want him to hit the ground running. But like I said, with his age and things you don't know, I'd be inclined to believe, Saliba might have to wait and be a bit patient for first team football. I'll talk about it in another video and I have done already, but that potential partnership, I'm happy with Gabriel, man. You look at, and I got this from Sky Sports, you look at it, no Lille players attempted more forward passes this season, 578 than him, obviously, and only his defensive partner Fonte has completed more passes than Gabriel's 1,219, a league high. 255 of those were completed in the opposition's half. Now again, you know, when it comes to Arsenal, these tactics don't mean anything, but for me, without reading into the numbers, this is a pro. On top of us just needing an defender and me liking the fact that he's South American, he's got that Brazilian fire, he likes to defend, there's obvious competencies. He's left-footed, he can play on the left side of defence, and he's a ball-playing centre-half. So when you've got, regardless of what I think about Luiz, when you've got Luiz, Saliba, and obviously him, there's some options to play around with. And for me, you know, in the medium term, I'd like to believe Tierney, you know, Tierney, Gabriel, and obviously David Luiz, and potentially Bellerin at right back, depending what happens, will start the campaign. But eventually, obviously, I want to see Saliba and Gabriel married together with Tierney, potentially Maitland-Niles for me. And, you know, Martinez and Leno's probably the only place, you know, I don't mind either who goes and go. You lot fight it out, may the best man win sort of thing. So I'm happy with the alleged signing of Gabriel, but I think we have to discount a lot because of his inexperience. I think he'll show his game. I think he'll show his consistency. But again, he hasn't got too many career appearances under his belt. So with that, there are certain aspects of his game, I'm just saying, I think we have to expect to be a bit raw, to be a bit unpolished. But again, we've got a good manager in Arteta that's shown he can improve players, that's shown he can install a system. And for me, with the signing of Gabriel, Saliba and everyone that comes in, it's because Arteta's shown me he can coach. He's shown me he's got a system. And, you know, on one hand, I always say this, a good tradesman never blames his tools, but on the same token, you can only go as far as your tools can get you. I do think it's a case of you give Arteta some better players, you never know what he could do. Arteta's still learning, but we need a base. And for me as a fan, I want to see some stability in defence this season. I know injuries, suspensions, loss of form, rotation, all of these things happen. But I can't think of too many times we've seen a first choice back four. You look at Liverpool, and again, it's different. But how many games have you seen Alisson, you know, Joe Gomez, Van Dijk, you know, the two fullbacks in Trent and Robertson, they're starting. For me, that signifies stability, and we need that. We need a back 4-5, including the keeper, that's going to start week in, week out, because I believe all our problems start from the back. I think our midfield needs to improve and help us out defensively and offensively, but it's the spine for me, people. We get the spine locked down, everything else falls into place for me anyways. Obviously, our first attacker should be our keeper, and our first defender should be our strikers, so there's a lot of work, but I genuinely do believe that, people. And, you know, again, it's a bit premature, but I'm happy with the signing of Gabriel, and I'm keen to see how he, you know, obviously matches up with Arsenal. So we'll have to see what happens, man. But the statistics look good. The age profile looks good. The fact that there's a resale value, it sounds cliche and it's unlikely, but you've got a decade partnership potential in Gabriel and Saliba. You know, he'll only be 29 in 10 years, and Gabriel will be 32. By then, you'd imagine things have changed. But there's that. And for me, 60 million euros on two young centre-halves with potential, I don't really mind that, because we've spent a lot worse. We keep spending on centre-halves, really and truly. So, yeah, man, I'm happy with the signing of Gabriel if it does happen and things like that. And, you know, I think he's a player that fits Arsenal's profile based on what you see with your eyes and statistically. But it is what it is, man. We don't know how good it's going to be until he signs for the club. You know, and the French market continues to treat us fairly decent. Hopefully we can bring in a midfielder or two, and, you know, Arteta can have a team which, you know, if we marry all the other coaching aspects together, has a better fight or better chance of fighting for a top four and returning us to the Champions League qualification stages. But for now, congratulations to Bayern Munich and commiserations to PSG on that topic. But for now, people, you know, this video's come to an end. I ain't got nothing more to say. I've offered my opinions on Gabriel. I'm off to actually do some other videos now, but in relation to this one, please like, comment, subscribe, and people, you know, in lockdown, I've been seeing you lot, you know, my views have been higher than average by my own average, so you lot have been messing with me heavy. You lot support the live shows. I'm seeing all different sorts of donations, and if it's not donations, positive words. So thank you very much for all sorts of support you guys give me. Please do not think for a second I ever take it for granted. Without you guys, this thing can't continue, and if only you lot knew the sort of dark times you lot yourselves have got me through, and you've been unaware. So from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to once again say thank you. Please stay safe. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'm out, man. Until we meet again, folks. DG.